Hi, my name is Colin McGlinchey, and today I will be giving you my economic analysis of a federal jobs guarantee. We'll talk first about the background of the jobs guarantee and what it's trying to solve. Then we'll talk about the costs and benefits, some of the winners and losers of the policy, and finally an overall market analysis. A federal jobs guarantee is a program designed to secure work for people through the government in the case that they are unable to be employed elsewhere. A couple of variations have been proposed, but they both recommend that jobs be distributed not just by the federal government, but at the state and local levels as well. This type of program is not new, with its roots in FDR's New Deal. The Humphrey-Hawkins Act of 1970, sponsored by Hubert Humphrey and Augustus Hawkins, encouraged the government to ensure maximum employment in the country. Even civil rights activists like Coretta Scott King and Martin Luther King supported full employment with their March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. In today's politics, a jobs guarantee is being pushed by Senators Cory Booker, Kirsten Gillibrand, and Bernie Sanders. This policy seeks to end unemployment as we know it. It also seeks to end the less talked about underemployment. In almost all parts of the country, a single person can't live on less than $15 an hour. But in 2015, 42% of workers received unlivable wages. That we condemn people who are willing to work to the economic doom of unemployment and underemployment is a violation of their human rights and must be reconciled. A federal jobs guarantee will also protect us against the harmful effects of recessions. At the beginning of the COVID-19 crisis, unemployment skyrocketed to 14.7%, forcing 33.5 million Americans to file for unemployment. With a jobs guarantee, millions of workers would have been guaranteed the dignity of work and would not have been forced to worry about their rent or insurance bills. One plan for a jobs guarantee proposes a minimum wage of $11.83, but with the possibility for workers to earn pay raises. Their estimated mean income is $32,500, roughly $15 an hour. It also includes fringe benefits for full-time workers, such as health insurance. Overall, they estimate the program would cost the government $543 billion, coincidentally the same estimated cost for the other proposal. Some economic costs include the estimated initial rise of inflation of about 0.6%. However, we'll talk more about how the jobs guarantee actually protects against inflation in the long run. Another cost is for private sector. For firms that pay less than $15 an hour without benefits, they could lose about 3.4 million jobs to the government at the program's inception. Let's move on to the benefits. A jobs guarantee will eliminate the opportunity cost of unemployment. With everybody employed, we'll see an increase in overall productivity. It will also have the added social benefit of increasing economic opportunity for underrepresented social groups, ultimately fighting for social justice. A jobs guarantee will also bring with it more macroeconomic stability. One study by Scott Fulwiler applied a jobs guarantee to the multi-country econometric FAIR model and found that it actually causes inflation to act countercyclically. On top of that, as a recession hits and more people begin to join the jobs program, we see an increase in real GDP, continuing even in periods of expansion. Private sector firms are the most likely losers of this policy. They will have to redesign their business models to compensate for the increased costs and loss of labor. But it might not be a total loss for firms. In fact, according to an article in Business News Daily, states with higher minimum wages have seen more growth in employment rates, payroll increases per worker, and even the number of small businesses. Minimum wage hikes actually mean more and better business for small firms. This effect might also carry over to large corporations. Private sector workers will be the main winners of this policy. Firms will be forced to compete with the government for their labor by increasing wages and providing benefits such as Social Security, health insurance, and paid vacation. The other winners of this policy are underrepresented and underprivileged social groups such as low-income households, BIPOC families, and other groups who are most likely to be affected by low incomes. As you can see, states with higher black populations have a higher rate of people receiving unlivable wages, meaning this policy would be especially beneficial for the black population. Lastly, besides the competition for labor, private firms would be able to benefit from the macroeconomic stability provided by the provided by the jobs guarantee. With it, businesses will be better equipped to make long-run investments, rather than focusing on short-term profits. For the labor market analysis, firstly, the massive government hiring of millions of workers accounts for an increase in the demand of labor. Secondly, workers will have greater bargaining power over firms about the price of labor, so they won't be forced into unlivable wages or unemployment. This means we will see willing workers able to come out of underemployment and involuntary unemployment, accounting for the increase in labor supply. Lastly, the minimum wage will finally act as it was designed, as a price floor to deter predatory employers. This will actually raise the effective minimum wage from $0 for unemployed people and up to the federal minimum wage provided by the jobs guarantee. Overall, a federal jobs guarantee would bring about the economic gains of macroeconomic stability and increased overall productivity. At the same time, it does a lot of social good. The guarantee of employment at a living wage would provide more economic opportunities for underprivileged and underrepresented social groups. In doing so, it will increase their political power, creating a more equal society for all of us. So for those of you who are least affected by the jobs guarantee, I urge you to think both logically and emotionally here. A jobs guarantee will bring about economic benefits for everyone. But this isn't just an economy problem, it's a people problem. People are going without food or medical insurance. They're being forced out of their homes because they can't afford rent. They're being killed in the streets because of the deadly atmosphere of poverty. We need to do something. For those of you most affected by the jobs guarantee and minimum wage, we must work together. As so many of us have done over the past summer, and as our ancestors have done for as long as history remembers, we must come together as one people to fight for justice. We need to build a grassroots coalition with people of all classes, all races, all ethnicities, religions, national origins, gender identities, sexualities, anyone possible to guarantee economic rights for everyone. And for those of you with the power to legislate, our country has been through a lot. Now more than ever, people need politicians who will work towards unity and progress for all. If we build a system to make all of us a bit more economically equal, maybe we can start to mend the wounds of our nation's past sins and work towards bringing us all a little closer.